Los Ruiz here in the city of San Bernardino, California, catching up with former world champion Jessie Magdaleno, coming back with a great W against Coria, man. You stopped him in the third round. Break it down for us.
It was a good fight, you know. I went in there a little nervous, you know. There was a lot going on in my mind, but I knew with the faith of God and the faith of my team, my family, everybody behind me, my son, my wife, I knew I couldn't be stopped. I knew I was only going to go to the top, and that's what I demonstrated tonight.
This is the best I've seen you in years. Can we compare this type of victory from the time you became the world champion beating Nonito Donaire? He's in the house, by the way, with Jasmine Artigas corner. What do you think of your performance? What do you rate yourself after tonight?
I rated, you know, a high 8, you know. I don't want to give myself a 10 out of 10. There's still plenty more that I need to do, plenty more things I need to develop on. You know, it's a fight game, you know. You're always room to improve, and I'm just happy I got the victory against a great opponent like Coria, you know, a fellow stablemate of mine. You know, I used to train side by side with him. I got nothing but respect. I tip my hat off to Coria. He's a great fighter, and I wish him nothing but the best.
You were saying that you guys were teammates, stablemates. You hurt him pretty bad in the first round. He wobbled all around across the ring. Did you know how bad he was hurt? And did you know it was only a matter of time before you could stop him?
Yes, I knew he was really hurt. I knew the punches that I was landing were heavy shots. I trained my ass off for this fight. I trained my ass off for every second of this fight, and it showed tonight. It showed tonight, and like I said, I just tipped my hat off to Coria. He's a tough fighter. He's been in there with the best. He's fought, you know, great fights, and you know, I was just very happy to share the ring with him.
So you'll be fighting 130 pounds from now on?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna make my way back down to 126. I still have business down there, and then I want to come back up and you know, possibly fight for a world title at 130 pounds as well.
Those two losses that you had against Brandon Figueroa and Raymond Ford. You say this is the best you felt in a very, very long time. So those two previous camps, was that a lot of stuff going on in like personal life, your training camp, all that stuff?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, after losing the fight with Raymond Ford, I went into a mental depression. You know, I felt deep in depression to the point I wanted to kill myself, and I had the gun loaded in my throat. I was ready to go, and the only thing that helped me was, you know, my family, my son, believing myself in God, believing in me again, telling myself that, you know, I'll never get to that point again, and I'm glad that I got out. I'm glad that I'm clear-minded, and, you know, having people like this behind me, having people that love and care about me, you know, and they show it each and every day, and I'm just very grateful for them, and I'm grateful for...
You were telling me you were going through a lot of emotions. What type of emotions were you going through right now? Once you know that you won the fight.
You know, just a lot of weight off my shoulders. You know, a lot of weight off my shoulders, a lot of nervousness, a lot of things that, you know, I don't want anybody to deal with it. I'm just glad that I got the victory. You know, winning tonight and showing everybody that I'm back was just, this is exactly what, this was the icing on the cake.
Going back again, you only had 3 losses in your whole professional career. Why the depression? Why were you feeling so down? Was it because
it's boxing,
letting people down, or the way you were
letting people down, and boxing's a lonely man's sport. You know, when you're up, everybody's up with you. When you're down, there ain't nobody there. And a lot of people left. A lot of people that I felt that were close to me left, and I realized who the real ones are. And the real ones are, you know, my family. My family, they're here day in and day out. They support me 1,000 times. You know, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just grateful. Believing in God, believing in them, and showing them that no matter what you go through in life, you can get out of it.
Okay. I'm sure you were aware that Joel Gonzalez won a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And he wants to be a contender and fight, you know, for a world title pretty soon again. Being that you guys were teammates, you know, working for the same manager, is there a possibility of you two lacing them up?
We'll see. We'll see. Whatever they throw, like I said, we're ready for whatever. After tonight, we're ready for whatever. We demonstrated, we showed, and I'm hungry, and I just want to fight, and I want to get back to where I was at, and that's the top.
Congratulations again, Jesse. And just like you said, a lot of people left the corner and stuff, but I'm so glad that I got to witness your comeback, and I got to experience and being able to see you perform live and sharing all this excitement with the fans. Thank you. Magdaleno.